Trauma, noun, an emotional response to a distressing event that can cause intense physical and psychological stress reactions. Trauma is something that binds us all. Whether we like to admit it or not, all of us have experienced a form of trauma within our lives. Since this isn't a therapy session, I'm going to be talking about the things in various forms of media that traumatized me, and not the things in real life that did much of the same. Some of these may make sense, some may not, and the last one at the end may make me look like a massive pussy, so that'll be fun. This one is going first because it only scared me for a short bit and I quickly got over it. I saw a glimpse of Beetlejuice during the opening previews of the Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost VHS, and it framed it like a tame horror movie rather than the spooky comedy it really was. Nowadays, this is one of my favorite movies. The snake still kinda weirds me out though. This is more of a quick general overview of a few creepypastas that gave me the creeps. I saw a quote-unquote documentary about Slenderman's appearances throughout history with the theme of Requiem for a Dream in the background, and it gave me the impression that Slenderman might just be real. The original Jet the Killer image and police report from the beginning of the pasta freaked me out too, but I could tell the origin story was atrocious, even back then. Smile Dog creepypasta gave me anxiety that I might randomly get the email someday, but it never happened and I quickly got over it. The Sonic.exe I Am God image was certifiably spooky, but nothing else about it was. Yes, I know I just mentioned The Witch's Ghost, but that movie never really scared me. However, I'd be remiss in not mentioning the one that actually did. Everyone knows the tagline of why this one was some serious shit. This time, the monsters are real. And did they have to make the zombies all wrinkly and decomposed? I don't care, they're just trying to warn me they could do a better job of chasing me and moaning. The soundtrack still kicks ass though. That's why I have it playing in the background. This one's going to be a short one because it's probably the only zombie movie that really scared me past the age of 10. Yes, I know that this is a horror comedy, but putting myself in the situation of being surrounded by rotting corpses that could speak, couldn't die, and wanted to eat my brains while I was still alive and screaming? Absolutely not. Special effects being insanely good didn't help in quelling my fears. The image of the Tar Man and his inhuman voice yelling lived rent-free in my head for a good while. This movie, as far as I can recall, was my first ever horror movie, though I only saw it from the jail cell scene up until Freddy was pulled into the real world. And what a fucking movie to start with. Freddy Krueger ruled my nightmares as a kid as he did for the fictional teenagers of Elm Street. I can distinctly remember two separate nightmares. Maybe what I thought was so real about Freddy Krueger compared to other slashers was because Freddy Krueger appeared in their dreams and everyone else thought that they were just crazy and that he wasn't real. And I was getting the same kind of reactions with my dreams. Really messed with my head for a long time. Again, I always woke up before anything bad happened, but even the slightest hint that he could have been real, at least in my dreams, was enough to worry my childhood self. I've noticed while doing research that a lot of people were scared of the first Poltergeist, but the joke's on you guys. I never saw that one until I was a teenager. However, I will attest that this one is still freaky as hell. You have to keep in mind I was watching this in a dark bedroom when I was 8. My dad was watching it on the TV and I watched it with him. He didn't stop me or tell me this was too scary for me as he and my mom did with A Nightmare on Elm Street, so I got to watch this terror all the way through. Some notable moments for me include watching these decayed hands grab and pull Scott, Donna, and Carol Ann into a deep well that turns back into a normal puddle behind them, Carol Ann having a creepy old man face, Tangina getting pulled into the mirror turning into a rotted corpse, and Donna clawing her way out of said corpse while screaming bloody murder, Scott crying that they got Carol Ann, Donna pushing Dr. Seaton down the elevator shaft while her and Scott laugh about it. And yes, we do get to see that corpse with its own horrific close-up after the elevator goes haywire. This movie is just a rapid fire of scary scene after scary scene with practically no breathing room. Needless to say, I didn't sleep very well that night. I've always been a fan of theme park rides and Disney in general, So how could a Disney film starring a lovable comedian Eddie Murphy based on a beloved dark ride at a family theme park be terrifying in any way? Oh, I don't know, maybe we had fucking zombies designed by Rick Baker to the film. Imagine being 3 years old and seeing this shit. For those of you who don't know, Rick Baker is a special effects god behind some of the most well-known horror films. Yeah, let's have him design our zombies. I find it very funny that Disney didn't take Guillermo del Toro's script for the Haunted Mansion reboot because it was deemed too scary. But we're perfectly fine with whatever the fuck is going on here. This is the earliest memory I have of something in a film scaring me. This is a weird animated movie I found out is actually an animated adaptation of a 1961 live-action musical that I've never seen and honestly don't care enough to watch to contrast with the one I'm going to be talking about. We're just here for the spooks. Most of this movie is fine. You've got the orphans moving in with their creepy uncle that has nice neighbors all under some kind of classic children's story set dressing. That's all fine and good, but the crooked man Barnaby keeps saying he'll send them to the Goblin Forest if they misbehave. I'm sure it's not that scary. Well, I stand corrected. We have this haunting musical number from the Bumbling Henchman that I probably can't play because of YouTube's copyright restrictions, but we're focusing on my main source of dread, the Goblin King. The goblins were already freaky enough, but then the Goblin King had this scary deep voice and an inhuman scream that sent shivers down my spine, and still does to this day. This one's a special one because I never even saw the movies as a kid. All I had to do was see this DVD cover at Walmart, and my brain filled in the rest. I had nightmares about Chucky sneaking his way into my house under the guise of an ordinary doll, only to try and kill me when my family wasn't around. And all of this without even seeing a single movie. I didn't see any of these until I was in middle school, and by then the fear had mostly waned.
We interrupt this program to bring you...
What list on childhood trauma would be complete without Courage the Cowardly Dog? This single show that traumatized nearly all of younger millennials and older Gen Z like me. I'm sure everyone knows which episode I'm going to reference, and that's King Ramses' Curse. My experience on this one was a little bit different than most though. I don't ever recall catching this one airing on TV, but my VHS copy of Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders had this episode after the movie. You know, now that I think about it, Scooby-Doo is the connecting thread for a lot of these. Maybe I should look into Scooby-Doo one day. Anyway, my fear of this episode was from your typical uncanny CGI and haunting voice, as was for most children at the time as well. However, since I had this on a physical tape that could be played whenever, I remember watching this one over and over to try and conquer my fear. It eventually worked out though. Finally, we've reached this one. This list wasn't in any specific order though, so this one has no significance over the others. I can't remember anything from the first Halloween Town scaring me too much, mostly because all the monsters were seen as docile and friendly. However, the second one shows what would happen if these monsters behaved as usually depicted by people. Calabar's son has stolen a powerful spellbook and uses it to transform all those at the Halloween dance wearing a costume into those monsters. I was terrified of being put on either side of the scenario, whether it be forcibly turned into a monster or being locked in a gymnasium with them. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching and have yourselves a happy Halloween. Go have some candy and watch some scary movies. I'll definitely be doing the same. I need it because this video took a lot to make. So many pieces of media to watch, write about, get footage for, and send to my editor. I can only imagine how hard this was for him to make. Everyone thank him in the comments. While you're down there, consider liking and subscribing as we have more videos coming out soon.